Good morning, everyone. Well, here we are again. I'm home alone. People so busy. I'm always here. Let's see, when did I leave? Can't remember. I'm always here. One of them steady ones. It's interesting for me to watch on how difficult it is for people to really kind of stay in one place. Yeah, yes, yeah. Then I have to ask, what are people running from? Yes. I've, over the years of my life, I've come across many different things, many different ways of people trying to connect to some kind of a higher power or higher being or higher state of heart to mind, mostly mind. And I found that in every case, there was something lacking. Why am I saying that? The one thing that so people say, so what did you do? Oh, I tried meditating. Meditating with people. Oh my gosh, I remember I would sit in the dojo and we had this meditation session regularly. I sat in, I think twice, and then I went to my master and I said, I can't do this. And the reason I can't do this is because I don't want to be a part of all them people's problems. Oh, why was I? Why could I not? Well, it's my nature, right? It's difficult for me to reject uh, uh, spiritual pain. Even, okay, well, of course one wouldn't reject spiritual joy, right? Well, okay, well, I can't, I have to absorb both of them, or I absorb both of them. And I would go against my nature to decide one was better than the other. But then, meditation session is for the people who are really trying, okay, center yourself. And I'd center myself, and the thing is, when I would center myself, suddenly in the whole room, everyone that was there, their spirit would open up and I would see everything and everything would just start to flow towards me. Here's the thing though with that. And of course, it's like, okay, whatever. It's difficult to explain, but at some points I wanted to just burst out into laughter, right? Yes? At other points, it was like, uh, it's a really interesting way. When people meditate, okay, I wonder if people realize on how their selfish nature really comes out. Because you're meditating for what? Huh? If people meditate, do they meditate for the safety of children in this world to not be abused? Or are they meditating to somehow create a barrier between two armies that are at war? Or, okay, you get my drift here? Okay, so that's not why people meditate, do they? You want to find your inner self. You want to, okay. And, well, guess what? That's exactly what you're going to find. But that's all you're going to find. So, meditating for me is not, okay. But it's a beginning for some, but for me, that wasn't it. As I said, because I'd sit there. Eventually, it would take about 5 minutes, and I'm sitting there, opening my eyes and going, well, I can't interfere in anyone's life here. I can't go to each one and say, this is your problem. This is what you need to work on. Blah, blah, da, da, da. Oh, by the way, I know you're worried about some people, here in the physical and in the spirit. How about in the spirit? I don't know about the physical, right? Oh, interesting. But I know about the spirit. You can't go up to people and say, this is what you need to do for your ancestor. This is what you need to do for your loved one. This is what you need to do for your friend you're worried about in the spirit world. So the energy that people release while they're meditating is very, very interesting. Okay. It's spirit energy, right? Yes? Okay. How about, I went to another one where they were chanting. That's a chanting thing. Buddhism or something, and I sat there. And the thing is that I think if maybe I would not have gotten the reason for chanting from others, okay, in a Western civilized kind of, way, rather than if I were to go to a Buddhist temple somewhere in Asia, would I get a different, okay. But that experience I didn't have. Oh, okay. Wait. Yet, I did have experiences, through the videos of gurus, this, certain other things on how people worship certain people for their abilities or fake abilities. Okay, I'm just saying. People can be pulled into all kinds of different stuff. Anyway, so I went to this place and they started chanting this, what was it? Yeah, Nam Ra, King, whatever it was. But beforehand, the reasons why people were chanting was all for their own selfish reasons. There wasn't one person that said, I'm here to pray for the better of the world. I'm here not for myself, but for everyone else out there that needs it and doesn't have the chance to do what I have the chance to do here right now. Right? And I sat there and it was like a whole room of people, and I started, 5 minutes, I'm opening my eyes and going, what the heck am I doing here? These people are all chanting and praying for something in their own life that doesn't need changing, isn't something they can't change on their own, with determination and will, and on the side of goodness in the proper direction. Why are they doing this? And I got up and I'm leaving. I'm not staying here. There's no reason for me to stay. What I found in places like that is the energy that it creates, that type of energy in a room like that, with people all just wanting something better in their own life, creates an energy of, guess what? Depression. It does. Anxiety. It does. So anyway, as I said, again, there was nothing I could have gotten up. Oh, I wasn't asked, by the way. I was just a guest. So as a guest, what do you do? And I was young. I've never been in a place like that before. So I didn't know quite what to expect as well. So, now if I were to go somewhere like that, I probably would pipe up and say, guys, can we do this the right way? What do you think would happen? She's messing with our plans. There is more. But the one thing that I found is that if you really truly want to connect to a spirit source, then before you do that, you must be very clear on what you have to give. Very clear what you have to give in exchange for what you're taking. Yes, that's called give and take, right? Yes, it's in prayer the same thing. Absolutely the same thing. What are you willing to give for your prayer to be heard? Anyway, that's how healing starts. Offer yourself. That's a side effect. A good one. Yes. All right. Let's get going here. We're in Leviticus 19, moral and religious regulations. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, "Speak to the whole community of Israelites and say, be holy, for I, Yahweh your God, am holy. Each of you will respect father and mother, and you will keep my Sabbaths. I am Yahweh your God. Do not turn to idols, and do not cast metal gods for yourselves. I am Yahweh your God. If you offer a communion sacrifice to Yahweh, make it in such a way as to be acceptable. It must be eaten the same day or the day after. Whatever is left on the third day must be burnt. If eaten on the third day, it would be rotten food and not be acceptable. Anyone who eats it must bear the consequences of this guilt, having profaned Yahweh's holiness. That person will be outlawed from his people." In the one before with the sexual prohibitions, it seems to I as a human being with a heart to mind, knowing about my original mind, knowing that I was created in the image of God, okay, trying to find the resoluteness that comes with these chapters, right? And the importance on why I have to obey and follow it, even if I don't quite get it, right? Yes? And at the same time, what is my give and take with it, right? I'm trying to gain knowledge from all this. That's my taking. What am I giving? I have to give understanding, right? Even if I don't quite. So I have to, okay, I'm not done learning yet. So even if I don't quite get everything and I'm kind of grossed out about some things, I'm going, no, God wouldn't, this, that. Throughout the whole reading exercise and all that, I also have to find my way through the maze on, okay, what is actually God's will here? What is truly God's will? You see? That's the give and take. If I just take what I'm reading as, okay, no leeway, this and that, there isn't really when it comes down to it. But I've got to recognize which parts are put in, not by God. How do I know God? How do I know my Father in heaven, my parents in heaven? How do I know them? There has to be that give and take there. And if that's not there anymore, then I'm going to have to question certain things, right? Yes? Yeah? Okay. As a leader, I believe, and all around the world, when you take from the people, you've got to be able to give. As a leader, you have to be able to give more than you take. And if, as a leader, you cannot do that, and if the people realize that, then there is an imbalance, and that needs to be addressed. Right? So there is the leader giving, but the leader always takes as well. Get my drift? I just, oh gosh, we're going to be talking all day today. There is in Kenya a president right now, and a lot of good things happening. And yet I went in and I said, as a good leader, you take care of the orphans in your country, and maybe you can be the leader to teach other leaders around the world. Because if you take care as a leader of the poorest, the weakest in society, like orphan children, that's where you start a peaceful world. That's where you become successful. It's true, isn't it? Don't you think it's kind of sad that I have to tell them that? Okay. Yeah, just made my point here, didn't I? Okay. You will not steal. Oh, wait a minute. We're not that far yet. When you reap the harvest of your land, you will not reap to the very edges of the field, nor will you gather the gleanings of the harvest, nor will you strip your vineyard bare, nor pick up the fallen grapes. You will leave them for the poor and the stranger. I am Yahweh your God. What did I just say beforehand? Right? Yes? Right? Or you will be outlawed. That's the thing. I can't see God wanting to forsake anyone yet. How does one teach a fallen angel to repent and then truly, sincerely wanting to be a part of the proper give and take? It's sad to me on how people are so amazingly good at bullying others and manipulating others. And yes, even the poorest of the poor are good at that. All right, let's keep going. God cares for all of us, though. But there are consequences to our own will. You will not steal nor deal deceitfully or fraudulently with your fellow citizen. You will not swear by my name with intent to deceive and thus profane the name of your God. I am Yahweh. You will not exploit or rob your fellow. You will not keep back the laborer's wage until next morning. You will not curse the dumb or put on an obstacle in the way of the blind, but will fear your God. I am Yahweh. So okay, if I want to take this as bare münze, then beware. Don't think you're going to get away with everything. Okay, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Fear me when it comes to things like that. There's a saying that moms when their children, a good mom, when the children are in danger, to become what? A lioness. Oh, I know how that feels like. And do you know, rather than people being on my side and saying that's a good mom, she'll protect her children at all costs against what? I was criticized. And I had to eat some humble pie too, just for the sake of what? Peace or okay, all right. But when it comes down to it, in the heat of the moment, I wouldn't kill anyone, this or that, but man, my voice is loud enough. I could stand there and say, do you want to try that again? Yeah. All right. And that's a fearful thing. You upset a mother, you try to hurt her children, you better beware. Right? Yes? In what sense? Do you know that the strength that you feel as a mom protecting your children, even when they're grown up already, that comes from somewhere greater? That's what people should fear. I'm not going to kill anyone. I'm not going to point a gun at anyone. I'm not going to do that. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to try to do my utmost best to defend the people around me, just in a little bit of a different way. Because, again, where is that strength coming from? Right? Whose true daughter am I? If you cannot believe that as a human being here on earth, if you do not understand and can't see how separate we are from the principles of creation, the animals, the plants, on how different we actually are, then then you will also not understand the strength that you carry within you. And when that comes out to defend the righteous in a non-violent way, you're not going to believe on how you can change people's minds, on how they will step back and go, whoa, we better not mess with that one. You see? Yeah? No? Okay. I've had experiences like that. Enough of them. That people will come back when you know how to behave properly. Right? That's worked every time so far. Okay. All right. I am Yahweh. You will not be unjust in administering justice. You will neither be partial to the poor nor overawed by the great, but will administer justice to your fellow citizen justly. You will not go about slandering your own family, nor will you put your neighbor's life in jeopardy. I am Yahweh. You will not harbor hatred for your brother. You will reprove your fellow countrymen firmly and thus avoid burdening yourself with a sin. You will not exact, what did I just say? You will not exact vengeance on or bear any sort of grudge against the members of your race, but will love your neighbor as yourself. I am Yahweh. Oh, that's an interesting one. Moral and religious regulations. Holy canoe. Leviticus 19. One could write a book, talk a book about it. We're not going to do that today. You will keep my laws. You will not mate your cattle with those of another kind. Is that possible? You will not sow two kinds of grain in your field. Oh. I don't even know what that means. Is there, I don't know enough. Oh, I need to go. Oh, hang on. Got to go and check that out. I do know that certain things you can't grow with each other. But I never knew that about grains. Oh, gotta go read up on that. Oh, what is that all about? You will not wear a garment made from two kinds of fabric. If someone has intercourse with a woman who is the concubine slave of a man from whom she has not been redeemed and she has not been given her freedom, he will be liable for a fine, but they will not incur death, since she was not a free woman. Oh, concessions. Wait. Does God make concessions when it comes to stuff like that? Now, I'm happy with most everything else, but now suddenly here I'm going, He will bring a sacrifice of reparation for Yahweh to the entrance of the tent of meeting. This will be a ram of reparation, and with the ram of reparation, the priest will perform the rite of expiation for him before Yahweh for the sin committed, and the sin he has committed will be forgiven. The original sin is, okay, and anyone that has read the Bible, and that doesn't matter, Adam and Eve covered after they sinned, what? Adam, his lower parts, Eve, her lower parts, as sexual parts, and her breasts. Didn't cover their mouth, their eyes or whatever. No, it was what? So one must assume, what did you do with the parts that you covered? Okay. Sexual. The original sin originated from sexual sin. Something that wasn't right there. Whatever it was, we don't have to get into that right now. But here it is again. it seems to me that, okay, we're okay with, all right. Whatever God says, when it comes to anything else, we can go along with that. But when it comes to the sexual realm, the realm of love, eh, between two people, a man and a woman, we have to make allowances. Why are we making allowances? Why is there an allowance in here? A concubine. A concubine. God will accept for a man to have a concubine next to the main wife. Oh, and if she was still a slave girl, then, we can just go and, oh, wait a second. Okay, it's either one or the other. God's not wishy-washy like that. Okay? And if he's trying to restore, especially the realm of love, when it comes to, in the way that he's actually created man and woman to be together with and have a family, this and that, be true to each other, blah, 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 then have a relationship with God where God can be a part of it all, da, 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 da. Why would God suddenly start making allowances? Is that a man-made something just stuck in there? I wonder. I just wonder. Again, I'm observing. So then we're not having an omnipotent, omniscient, all-powerful, I am Yahweh God then, do we? I find it interesting all through the Bible on how every time in the realm of the original sin, on how man puts in his own words in between Yahweh's, in between God's. Our will. We can. We have free will. We can do whatever we want. When it comes down to. And I believe it was done here as well. Wow. Am I right? I don't know. I think I'm right, though. Unless I want to believe what? Yahweh for the sin committed, and the sin he has committed will be forgiven. Yeah, yet Adam and Eve were thrown out of the Garden of Eden. Why couldn't they have done something similar to that? Well, they weren't there yet. Okay, no. You can't have it both ways. Once you have entered the country and planted any kind of fruit tree, you will regard its fruit as uncircumcised. What the heck? For 3 years you will count it as uncircumcised and it will not be eaten. Okay, there's many trees. 3 years. There's many trees that just need the proper growth to produce. That's a good lesson here. It needs the proper growth to produce before you make use of the fruit. Right? Yes? And don't eat it. Don't. Just let the tree do its thing. Right? Yes? It gives me the creeps when I think that there are religions in this world or places in this world where a young girl of 13, 14 is married to an old geyser. Still happening. Okay. I can't. Sorry. Can't find respect for that. I can't find a reason for it. I can't find respect for it. I can't find a reason for it. And I can't find anything that would excuse the behavior of a man like that. I just don't. Done. Unless you want me to accept that you haven't evolved any further than Neanderthalers. Okay? Done. Let me say. In the 4th year, all its fruit will be consecrated to Yahweh in a feast of praise. And in the 5th year, you may eat its fruit, so that it may yield you even more. I am Yahweh your God. You will eat nothing with blood in it. You will not practice divination or magic. Oh. It is interesting to me on how this is described here, divination and magic, and yet when we consider the stones, right, of the tribes, the 12 tribes that were put in the vestment, the garment of the priest, high priest, to represent. They're all gems of a certain strength, right? What is it? Healing, strength, representation of what? Right? I think in the way that I have experienced all that, we want to think that we, in a way, that a person that has somewhat a connection to spirit world, an understanding of certain energies, this and that would apply to everyone else as well. But it doesn't. It really doesn't. One example is, so you're born in the month of what? And you have this, it's a common practice now. I'm a Sagittarius, and what comes with being a Sagittarius, okay, in the Western kind of, then in the Chinese thing, was born in the year of the dragon, and what else goes with it? I don't remember. And then in the Native American wheel, I was born with the animal totem of an elk, right? And obsidian as my mineral totem, and the blue spruce, black spruce, blue spruce as the plant totem. That's so nice. And then you go in and go, oh wow, that's so cool. So everyone that was born during that time of these then has all the same, exact same experiences, talents, characters, personalities. Why, are you kidding me? I guess the best that I can say that is that we're not given spiritual insight or the I'll call it that, the spiritual gift to gab, to hoodwink others. When we have talents that reach into spirit world, then we're given a talent to teach about that. Not to make, not to assume about others, not to, right? We're just as a math teacher who's good in math, really good in math, can teach math, right? When you're talented in the gift of being a part of spirit world, you teach as well. You teach. You don't hoodwink. As a math teacher, you don't go and hoodwink people about, well, really, I'm really good at this. So I'm going to tell you 1 + 2 actually equals 2, not 1 + 1. Are you getting my drift here? Yeah. Anywho, to depend on other people to give you all the answers, even in a math problem, eventually, no, it doesn't matter what you say. If I have one apple and another apple, that makes 2 apples. I will never make 3 apples, right? Yes? Done. No. And in spirit, it is the same, where if you're being taught properly, then eventually you know on how to solve the problems or get an answer from spirit world for a problem, for something that you want to know about, this, that, right? Yourself. You're not going to need to go to someone else, but someone else can teach you, right? Yes? Yes. We're not here to hoodwink people when you have gifts like that, or pretend that you know more than others. It's just that your understanding is a little bit ahead of others. Yes? Just as an adult, your understanding is ahead of children. Should be. Okay. Anyway. That is what God's warning here about. Right? Of course, people again are going to say, oh, yeah, so. Yeah. You will not round off your hair at the edges or trim the edges of your beard. Oh. You will not gash your bodies when someone dies, and you will not tattoo yourselves. I am Yahweh. Oh, I just came across that, the tattoo thing. I think with tattooing, it always comes down, for me, it comes down to when I see a nice tattoo, something, an affirmation that I would say, looking at the other person, that what is something that you can live with for the rest of your life. Right? Yes? Okay. Again, I think it's again also what God cautions here is what is your attitude towards certain things? Right? Yes? What can we now? I mean, if we were to just go by this, then we would have to, what? 3/4 of the world would kind of be in disfavor. Where tattoos, for example, just using that now out of here, are a part of their culture. Okay, is it positive in their culture or is it a negative in their culture, right? It'd be interesting over time. Well, people get their tattoos. I don't have one myself, but I'm not against it for others. I'm not going to do that. No. But it'd be interesting to say, okay, 20 years from now, to ask us, so which of your tattoos are you still united with? Right? You still are good with. Which ones would you rather not have anymore? Again, I think it's more, again, the understanding of, right, why are you doing what you're doing, for what purpose, right? And have you made the decision 100% on your own, or were you coerced into by, for example, cultural stigmas? Yes? Okay. Just saying. We've got to be smarter than just the words on the page when it comes to all that. Do not profane your daughter by making her a prostitute, or the country itself will become prostituted and filled with incest. Oh! Okay, not going to go there. We're not there yet. We will come back to this part here. You will keep my Sabbaths and revere my sanctuary. I am Yahweh. Do not have recourse to the spirits of the dead or the magicians. They will defile you. There you go. I have seen too many people go for it, pay money for it. Oh my gosh. Spiritualists out there who I see that and so, that for me, that has always been a very, very private affair. I share some experiences to give of the knowledge, but not to make anything more of it than to do that, to teach about spirit life. People who've lost someone very dear to them yearn for connection. And for any spiritualist out there, a psychic dissident, to use that to their advantage. Their self, not the spirit, not the connection between the loved ones, then you're on the wrong path. Absolutely 100%. And you will always be. If one uses that spirit connection to create disunity between the physical and the spiritual, you're doing it wrong as well. Done. You are being influenced by your own desires. not the desires of the physical or the spiritual, combine to work together to unify them. Done. I have nothing more to say to that. And I feel sorry for the people who keep falling for this stuff. Well, anyway. I guess that's why I'm here trying to teach. Okay. Good luck to myself. But the warning here is clear. Oh, so why don't I have a problem with that? Well, because that somehow, I know why this is in here as well. It is, again, to control the people, to control the spirit nature of people. I get that too. Right? Yet, what did I say? We live in the world right now. What am I doing with this information here, and as it has been given here, and transfer that, and fast forward into the present right now, and give what I know to give here. All right. You will stand up in the presence of gray hair. You will honor the person of the aged and fear your God. I am Yahweh. Oh my gosh. I have great reverence for people with gray hair, older people, right? I had a friend who was 23 years old in Switzerland, and he was already gray. Oh, how about that, right? I can tell you one thing, and I can't even remember his name now. This was an amazing person. He truly was an amazing person. I know that the gray hair he already had at the age of 23 was well deserved in a very positive way. And reading this right now, he comes back to my mind. I don't even know if he's still alive or anything, but the kindness in this guy was amazing. Absolutely amazing. What was his name? Can't remember his name. If I do remember his name, I will tell you. Huh. Yeah. Interesting. I wonder, are you in spirit world? Is that why? All right. So, don't be ashamed of your gray hair. I'm not. I got some going. It doesn't quite look like that, but I do. I'm graying. And I find gray hair, white hair, absolutely beautiful. I just do. I can't help it. Okay. All right. If you have resident aliens in your country, you will not molest them. You will treat resident aliens as though they were native born and love them as yourself. For you yourselves were once aliens in Egypt. I am Yahweh, your God. You will not be unjust in administering justice as regards measures of length, weight, or capacity. You will have just scales, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin. I am Yahweh your God, who brought you out of Egypt. Hence, you are to keep all my laws and all my customs and put them into practice. I am Yahweh. Wow, what a great chapter. Oh, holy cannoli. Father, you did well. And it was preserved really well, too. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Oh. How beautiful. I don't know if people have experiences like that, but if you're a parent, if you have experienced parenthood, there's one thing that makes you feel really good when your children praise you, right? Yes. So while I just did that, I got this just almost as if God's like sitting on his mercy seat and going, I did good, didn't I? I think more so because he sees my willingness on trying to understand what it means to be Yahweh. I am Yahweh. I'm trying to I'm trying to teach you the best of what there is within you and acceptable to me as well. I could go, I have to say, when it comes to that type of subject, I could go on and on and on and on because it makes me so incredibly happy and fulfilled and just proud on what this earth is, what spirit world is, and how it works together, this and that. The purpose of life is to bring God joy. And I could talk about that all day long. 7 days a week, a month, years and years and years. I've already done that. I did that. And somehow the excitement is never less. Rather, it becomes greater and greater. And am I adequate to give adequate? Do I have the adequate language skills to give this? Do I have enough understanding, heart to mind, to give it? Probably not. I've asked God, why me? Don't you have someone else to talk to these people who are so much better? And it's, no, I want you. You do it. Why can't you do it? You just have to keep practicing, get better at it. Grow with the people. Not grow with me, grow with the people. It's a wonderful, beautiful thing. And I had interesting. There's some things going on, and one can't just openly because one doesn't have to. Not allowed to, right? And you keep your promises, but the children are always on my mind of the world that are suffering, and it can kind of get you just to the point of I understand it's your will, not my will. It's also freedom of will, and one can't change that. The people have to change, and in a way, this Leviticus 19, chapter 19. God found a way. My Father in heaven, my heavenly parents, found a way to really lift my spirits and show me on where knowledge and teaching, it counts. Even if it's so little regarded, it counts. It moves in the right direction. How to express something that you yourself experience in such a high format. Not really possible to give it at 100%. But we'll keep trying. We'll keep reading. This is a good one. Yes. God's love and blessings always. And may he protect you. And I will talk to you all another time.